One, you're going to want to remove some subglottal pressure. There are two big ways we can do this. You can take some pressure off the torso by maybe thinking about the rib cage lifting or not engaging the abdominal wall quite as much. You can also just not take as big of a breath so you don't have to manage that elastic recoil snap back. The other way we can remove some subglottal pressure is by allowing a little more air to flow through the vocal fold. This is not the same thing as pushing more air through the vocal folds. This is allowing the gate to part just a little bit. You can do this by inducing a sigh sensation while they're phonating. So instead of eh, you're gonna get something like hey. See how the second one was kind of like releasing steam off the pressure cooker? Two, and this is really related to the example I just gave. You can play around with onset work. For those who don't know, the onset is the moment you enter the pitch. While a glottalized onset is going to increase the firmness of closure, which is going to increase the subglottal pressure a little bit, a smooth onset or an aspirate onset is going to allow the removal of that pressure a little bit more. So instead of oh, with that glottalized onset, we could play around with the aspirates. Ho, tho, so. Lastly, you can play around with vocal tract shaping. We know that megaphone-shaped vowels, vowels that are open at the front and smaller at the back, are going to trigger firmer closure from your vocal folds and a chest-dominant coordination. We also know that inverted megaphone vowels are going to trigger more flow on the vocal folds. And then there are the magic neutral vowels in between, as well as diphthongs that are going to keep things moving for you. I really love an I vowel because it keeps the tongue a little bit higher, and it's more inverted megaphone than ah, but it's not the most inverted megaphone vowel we have. An example of building an exercise around this, instead of that's mine, we could do this sucks. It's one of my favorites. Play around with those principles. Be flexible, and then, of course, let me know how it goes. Are you already playing around with all of these things I just suggested, and do you need other suggestions? Let me know in the comments. Happy teaching!